that's one. The next obstacle is I don't want him to kiss me on the way to the car.
The awkward dismount.
No.
Oh.
And so we walk to my car. I don't want him to go all the way to my car with me. And I realize I can't shake him. So...
She's like juking, like NFL style.
And he's like right with me.
The Heisman's coming out.
And so he goes in for a kiss.
Ooh.
I know. Oh. And I avoid it by giving him a really big neck hug. So I like gave him a hug and just kind of yeah.
Oh, so awkward.
And he goes, "Would you like to go out on another date again?" Looks me in my face.
God.
So I just said, "No, I don't want to go on a date with you again." And he's like, "What?" He just kept on doing that, like with his
Did he
face.
check his gutter?
You know, you're rude, and this is why you're single, and like anyway.
Oh, the attack.
Yeah, I did.
Yes.
He sent me a couple nasty texts that night, and
What
then.
did he say?
All right, we ready? Let's do this. Wow. Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever episode of Crazy Ass Dates, Bad Dates, Great Stories. I'm Doug Rice, and let's just talk about what this show is going to be about. We hope to have this be the first of many, many episodes to come. We're going to talk about the crazy, wild, uncomfortable, awkward, tense moments that happen when we're out on dates. It seems like who knows what's going to go on. I think there's this weird type of thing that happens when people first go out on dates. Especially, it's always on that first, that second, maybe at the most the third date. But weird things, unexpected things happen. The date tends to go sideways, or it gets really weird and uncomfortable for everybody. But the number one goal, as we talk about all this stuff and talk about all the various things that go on in dating, is to have fun. That's my goal. I want to have fun. I want to laugh a lot. We're going to have some times we'll probably like gasp and cringe too. But we just want to have fun. And the way we're going to do that is each week we're going to have at least one, maybe more guests. And those guests are going to kind of give us a recap, and we'll revisit, we'll recreate a date that has happened. And then, let's just talk about it and have a conversation and have some fun with it. And hopefully it's going to be compelling, entertaining, and like nothing else you've ever seen or heard before. And I will not be doing this alone. I will be doing this each week with my lovely and talented co-host. Her name is Haley Henson. Haley, hello.
Hello, everyone. So basically, we always hear the, fairy tale wedding story, like, oh, now we're together, we're in love, but people seldom talk about the gritty, horrible dates that they have to go on, the frogs they've kissed along the way to find that perfect soulmate. And so sometimes you can't talk to your mom about it, can't talk to your friends about it, so talk to us about it. We want to hear those gritty, embarrassing moments that you experience. And I know that people are going to relate to every single episode, and so I'm really looking forward to this going forward.
Right. I'm imagining people going, he did what?
Yeah.
She said what? Or whatever when
Yeah.
we're talking about it. So it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Again, we're not trying to pass ourselves off as like your relationship coach, your dating coach, somebody that's going to help you find your soulmate that you can sit in the hot tub with, sipping on champagne and planning your family and your future together.
Yeah.
That might happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? But we're certainly not dating experts. We have no background or knowledge of that. But we do have knowledge, using like whatever, Tinder, Bumble, that type of thing, Match.
We have had failed dates, so we can help you to swerve out of that area.
Absolutely. And Haley and I have a special guest on, like we're going to have each week. And our guest this week, we're super excited. She is Gretchen Young, who is better known as GretchYo.
GretchYo.
Say hi, GretchYo.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Well, the coolest thing about Gretchen is I was introduced to her through a mutual friend of ours, and I found out that she is a stand-up comic.
Awesome.
So she's beautiful and she's a stand-up comic.
Awesome.
Say it again.
She's beautiful.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
I'm GretchYo. It's kind of like my alter ego, but comedy is my life, so slowly becoming her. Pretty much all I do is I just do comedy all the time. I've got 3 open mics in town, about to have 2 more. Let's see, what else? What else do I do?
Make me laugh. I mean, tell you that. Tell me a joke.
God.
Be funny.
Oh, and you're a former model, by the way.
Yes,
Still
yes.
probably modeling, yeah.
I'll go on auditions here and there.
She's
but
pretty gentleman.
She's like 5'10". Okay, so anyway, that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
So if you could tell us, today we're going to hear a couple of dating stories from you, but what this is going to do is kind of set the precedent moving forward. usually we're going to probably have one big story, but today you're going to kind of tell us around about all the different experiences you've had that people can relate to. So if you'd like, we can kind of get started. You can tell us one of your big dating stories starting out, how you met him, if it was organically or through a dating app, and we'll just move from there.
So I definitely tested out all of these dating apps. I actually have a joke that the developers of Tinder and Bumble owe me money for testing just because
Yes.
I used it so much.
Yeah.
But I came from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I moved to Dallas about 25, and I had not really dated. And so coming here, dating is definitely like a sport. And I don't know. It was just super easy to meet men.
In Dallas, you mean?
In Dallas, yeah. Both on the apps super easy.
Which
And then
apps do you use, by the way?
I was using Tinder and Bumble.
Was.
Yeah,
okay.
was. I haven't
What's
used
your
them for a
favorite
while.
of the two, do you think?
You know, it was kind of when Tinder first started out, it was good. And then when Bumble came along, I like things about both. It took me a little while to get over the whole, like, me asking them first.
Yeah.
But it did. I think ultimately it was Bumble that I liked
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I hear good things about Hinge, but I've never done it. So
I haven't either.
Me
Maybe
neither.
that's something we need to like, just test out.
Yeah.
Just for show purposes, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll be the testers now.
Yeah.
Even though.
yeah, exactly.
So the first date that you're going to tell us about, was that something that you met somebody organically or through Hinge? Bumble or Tinder or whatever?
So this first one that I met, it was organic. It was at a happy hour in Uptown.
Where?
It was at so I'm blanking on the name, but okay, if you go down Hall Street off McKinney, do you guys know what I'm talking about, that area, kind of where Breadwinners is?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you go down Hall, there's like this little skinny bar there that used to be a bar, but now it's like a pizza place or something. I don't know, but that's where it was.
Okay, good
And,
enough.
and for our listeners, though, tell them a little bit about Uptown and kind of how it is.
Yeah, because we might be in
'Cause-
Dallas, but
yeah.
this is everywhere. So
Yeah. Okay. So Uptown, I feel like, is very. You've got a lot of people, young professionals working in very corporate environments. Now there's like a lot of startups. Like I feel like it's definitely men in suits, and I'm thinking the word like financial
Yeah.
come up.
successful.
Yeah, successful.
Success,
Just
yes.
people look
Professional.
good. People
Yeah.
are professional, polished. That's what it
Okay,
is.
perfect.
But I also think it's, like any situation, probably in any city, a lot of that is like a front.
Yeah.
So I've had my fair share of $30,000 millionaires.
Oh, yeah, I know that
Yeah.
term very well.
Yeah.
There's a few of those.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a few of those
Yes.
in this area.
And so like so that, people drive nice cars. People
Yeah.
people like to spend money in Uptown Dallas.
Yeah.
They like going out to eat. They like drinking. They like to look great.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the environment that I was
Okay.
in.
Okay.
And this guy, he was attractive. He wasn't as tall as I'd like, but at the time I was like 25. He was probably like 30, 31.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hotter than he was, but I was like, okay, why don't we?
Gretchen's
I'll go
humble,
out there.
guys.
Yeah.
She's quite humble.
Yeah.
No, she just knows.
Yeah,
I like
she
the
knows.
confidence.
Girl knows. She's confident. Keep going.
So yeah, he asked me out to dinner, and what I liked about it was that he was just very straightforward. He just, very little small talk. Hey, what's your name? What do you do? How long you've been here? All right, well, would you like to go out sometime?
Yeah.
Can I get your number? It was nice because I'm used to these people on dating apps who want to be pen pals,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not actually pull the trigger.
So
That's
can I
something we
ask-
got to talk about
Oh, yeah,
one day.
we do.
But the whole pen pal thing, we're not going to talk about that today, but put that in our little notes because
Yeah.
I want to talk about that
Yeah.
because I don't get that. But go ahead.
So wait, I do want to ask you though. So did he approach you at the bar? Did you approach him, or were you just walking up to get a drink?
He approached me. I was sitting at the bar.
Okay. And when he initially walked up, were you like, "This guy is hot," or did you have any were you attracted to him or what?
I didn't really notice him at first. Like he kind of came up and like just came up kind of like similar to like if someone like tapped you on the shoulder, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, hey. And he just immediately introduced himself. I mean, he was attractive. I mean,
Yeah.
Is
definitely.
he sharply dressed?
Yeah.
Okay.
He looked really nice.
Like a tie or what? I mean, what are you talking about?
It was like no coat, but definitely you could tell that he was in a suit for work.
Yeah.
Didn't have his tie on. He was a little bit unbuttoned here. It didn't look sloppy. It just looked like he was at happy hour now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he looked attractive and
Polished.
Polished.
Polished is the word.
Yeah.
He just looked like he had his shit together.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Which is attractive.
Yes,
Yes.
very
Yes.
attractive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his confidence was definitely something that I liked.
Yeah.
And so, what was the question? Sorry.
So how you initially met him? What was
Yeah.
your first
Okay.
impression? Was he hot in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, he was hot enough.
Hot enough. Okay. So our standards are right there. He was
Yeah.
hot enough. But it was just his confidence. You're like, why not? Why not, go on this date? Who knows? Maybe it can build up to
Wait, he
something.
hasn't asked her out yet.
Oh,
Has
okay.
he? Okay.
No, I mean, it was just very quick. It wasn't a lot of dialogue in between. Maybe honestly, my memory, it's like 5-6 minutes. It was probably 5-10 minutes we were talking.
Okay.
Okay.
It was very efficient. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, that was it for that initial meeting.
He
It was
ended up
5 or
leaving.
6 minutes,
Oh,
and
he
then the
left.
next time you saw him was going to be on this date that we're going to
yes.
talk about.
Okay.
Correct.
Interesting.
So I don't know if he was on his way out or what.
But he left the bar.
Yeah, he was like, well, I'm going to
That's
get going,
awkward
but
otherwise.
I'll talk
Yeah.
to you soon.
And you left your number with him? Or?
I gave it to him, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And were you there alone or with friends or what?
I was there with a couple girlfriends.
And what was your initial, did you say, oh my God, I just met this guy?
Well,
I don't know. Oh my God.
a little bit. I was like,
Oh my God,
you
you're so
know,
hot.
because it was nice. Like,
Yeah.
okay, this is someone who's coming up to me and asking me out on a date, like kind of like in the good old days, you know?
Yeah.
And again, like coming from Tulsa, I have almost no dating experience, right? The hot, like cool things going for them, girl to guy ratio in Tulsa is like 6-1.
Yeah.
So
You weren't
I don't
even
know,
wearing,
it's might
you weren't
have
even wearing
changed a little
shoes.
bit.
Like you were barefoot in there.
I was like, it's changed a little bit because I'm an Okie too. I'm like, Tulsa's getting cool.
oh, absolutely. Tulsa is so much fun.
But you're not from Tulsa, are you?
No, not from Tulsa, but both my parents were born in that hospital.
Where are you from in Oklahoma?
I am a tiny town in southwestern Oklahoma,
Oh, okay.
near Lawton, Oklahoma, the base of the Wichita
I've heard of
Mountains.
Lawton.
Oh.
But I went to OU, yeah.
Oh.
But anyways, enough about me. Let's continue.
I went to Texas, for the record. Hook 'em.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, okay, so anyways, so this was different from the Tulsa dating. You were like, man, finally someone's coming up, courting me, and treating me like a woman, like I want to be felt or treated,
Yeah, because I probably lived there about 6 months, and really all I had been on were, I was just hit on kind of sleazily or gone out on these, Tinder dates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, it was nice. And I was kind of like, okay, and of course I turned around to my friends and they're just kind of like, oh,
Look at her.
then just kind of get over it. And
You're
then
doing the Snoopy dance over there.
a little bit.
So did he text you within the day, or how long did it take him to text you to say, hey, let's go on this date?
I think it was around 24 hours, probably the next day. Next day or within 2 days.
Okay.
And yeah, he just asked when I could do dinner, and I said later. See, I feel like that happy hour was on a Thursday or Friday, and we ended up going at the beginning of the week. I want to say it was a Tuesday or something.
Okay.
And so he picked me up at my apartment, and I lived in this really crappy
Were you
apartment.
nervous at all about telling him where you lived initially?
No.
I'm always wondering about that.
I was, but I was, again, pretty naive. I was always careful. I didn't have him come up, but, I did let him pick me up.
Yeah.
He was a stranger, essentially, So I probably, I don't know, my dad probably wouldn't want to hear that.
No,
but,
I just watched the Ted
And
Bundy
you said you
documentaries.
I know.
Oh, you did? I need to watch that.
And he was hot,
That's what I actually was hearing. I saw who played him. Oh wait, never mind. Enough
Anyway,
of that.
yeah.
But okay, so you said you lived in a crappy apartment at the time. So why is that?
Well, I was modeling.
Okay,
And,
But
you know,
that's okay. if you
And
did.
she was really modeling. She wasn't modeling. She was actually modeling. Okay.
Yeah. And-
Legit.
Yeah. And but I had gotten into it kind of late.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was sharing this 1-bedroom apartment with another model, and I don't know, it was just so cheap. And we lived in Uptown. I lived right on,
Yeah.
right in the middle of town.
That sounds great to me.
It was
25,
great.
beautiful, living with a friend in Uptown.
It's
Okay.
exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Paying $300 a month each.
What?
You know,
Oh, the good
so it's
old
we'll deal
days.
with a crappy apartment for that and a creepy landlord. But, but yeah, he picked me up, and we didn't have to go far. We went to Albernays, which was right down the street from where I lived.
Did he have a nice car?
Yeah, he had, so I don't really know much about cars, but I remember it was a silver Mercedes, and it was a smaller car. It wasn't an SUV.
Okay.
And it was just nice.
Okay,
You know?
good.
So
he's dressed nice.
Oh, yeah.
Has
Nice
the
guy,
Mercedes.
confident. He's got
Yeah.
the Mercedes. All right, everything's good. Keep going.
Yeah, so
Keep
I
going.
don't have I don't think anything of this, right?
Yeah.
So we get there, and I have this rule on dates and I've still upheld it especially on the first couple dates, like I will not buy any, or I won't order anything that I can't pay for myself.
Yeah.
And so, but he just really took the lead and just.
And you're at Albernays. So I kind of. You said that earlier, but I just want people to know, like, that's a really nice place.
It's a very nice
place. For those
place.
people that aren't from Dallas or don't know Dallas at all, it's a very nice place.
And he just like ordered the whole menu to try to like.
Pretty much. I mean,
you.
few appetizers, bottle of wine. Like,
Nice.
you know, he was like, "Oh, would you want to just share a bunch of things?" I was like, "All right, yeah, that sounds great."
Yeah.
You know, and then the bill comes. You know, we have this. Well, okay, let me back up. I'm not having the best time on the date, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I felt like he didn't want to hear anything I had to say.
Ugh.
Like I felt like every time I would like pipe up, you know, like
Yeah.
that's kind of what it felt like. He would just, it was almost like a little dismissive. I don't
I
know.
can't
how
Was
see
he
that.
talking about himself the whole time or something? I mean,
Yeah.
what was
Yeah.
the conversation then?
I'm trying to really remember. It was like he would talk about himself, but he'd give his opinion about something. And I remember just a couple times being like, well, what about if this was the
Yeah.
case or whatever? And him just being like, just totally dismissing it.
What a turn on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't stand that. No, that's horrible.
It is.
Yeah.
And like by the end of the date, I was basically just being like, yeah.
You're like, well, I'm going to get these appetizers and these great wine
Yeah,
at
it's
least
fantastic
out of
food.
this.
I'll let you talk.
So on the GretchYo interest meter, it went from like a 10 when he picked you up to it's starting to go down and down.
I'd say it went from like an 8 to like a 4 really quick.
Really quick, okay.
You know, and I'm, you know, and again, you know, it's not this super long period that we're just at dinner. So
Yeah.
this entire experience was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know, probably an hour and a half.
But how long did it take before it got to that 4? An hour?
Before,
Went to the 4.
It probably
That's quite a
pretty
drop-off.
quickly. I'd say I started to pick up on sort of those like narcissistic characteristics as soon as the appetizers were coming out.
Yeah.
You know, or we're, you know, and I'm someone who's just very positive.
Yeah.
Like I want everyone to feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I just remember trying to be a part of the conversation
Yeah.
and failing. So, and it just steadily declined from there. I think it, like the third dismissal, I remember thinking, okay, you know, like what am I doing here? Do you just want to look at me? Is that all you're doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Was the food good?
Yeah, the food was fantastic.
Food was delicious.
Food was amazing.
We just gave Albernays a big
sucked,
plug
but-
here.
Yeah. If you're in Dallas, you should definitely check it
Stop
out.
by Albernays.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So then the check came, and then what happened?
So he gave him his card like it was, you know, nothing, and comes back declined.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Gives him another card, comes back declined.
No, 2 cards?
I want to say he went through 3 or 4 cards.
Now wait,
Oh.
let's back up for a second.
Yeah.
Because the first, okay, so he hands the credit card off. The waiter comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first one, when does the waiter say, "Sorry, sir," but you know,
Yeah, it's
how did
kinda like
how
that.
did it work? And then what was
Did
that?
you
Was there an
know?
awkward exchange between you two? Like what's up?
Well, he didn't look at me. He was like, he came back and it was kind of secretive. I assumed that's what it was,
Yeah.
and so he just kind of like got out his wallet and he was like, okay, that. And then when he came back a second time, I kind of like looked at him hard and like, you know, I'm obviously feeling very awkward because, you know, that would be very awkward for me if that
Was
happened.
he horrified? I mean,
She's already like,
I was
Uber?
more horrified, I think, than I mean, I don't know. Maybe he was playing it cool. I would have, if I was in his shoes, I would have been
I would have
mortified.
freaked out.
Mortified.
Yeah,
As a guy,
mortified,
I would
yeah.
have been absolutely mortified. There's no doubt about
No.
it. I would have been, oh my God, what am I going to do?
I would have been apologizing like profusely, being like, "I'm so sorry. I don't know what is going on." Like,
Exactly.
but he just kept his straight
It was
face.
just kind of like whatever.
Well, and then the waiter came back the second time, wasn't as like secretive, right? He was just kind of like, that one didn't work either. And
Third time he's like, "Listen, bro, this card's out." I'm just kidding.
well, and he
There was.
handed him, I'm pretty sure he handed him 2 more cards to kind of like go back. And he came back a third time in, and he just handed him.
He
And
starts taking his wallet. Here, take everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Coins are dropping out.
And he
So-
like literally turned after that third time, handed it to him. He just goes, he looked at me and he was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on. He was like, do you think you could cover this?
Oh, so okay. At this point, okay, this is when you're 25. How old are you now?
I'm 31. Or I'm 30. Oh my God, I turned 31 in a month, okay?
Hey, 30. Hey, we're the same age. High five. 30, flirty, and thriving.
That's right.
So at 25, okay, how much, do you remember how much it was? How much was it?
I don't think I ever looked at the bill because it was just an automatic no. I mean, even if, like, I'm someone that had I had the money,
Right.
Yeah.
I would have been like, yeah, sure, totally. Very naively, probably would have done it.
Right.
But I didn't. You know, I just.
So you said no?
I said, yeah, I just flat no.
You just said no?
Yeah, I just said I
I'm
can't.
broke, bro.
Yeah, like, what do you think this is? You're asking, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
You
so.
ordered the whole menu. All of your cards have been declined.
We're
and then
talking
you're
about
asking
that's a $200+
Yeah.
bill right
I
there.
was- that's what I was
Yeah.
wondering. I'm like,
it's got to be.
Hindsight, thinking back, it was probably over that.
It's got to be.
so
for
that
sure.
was your rent at the time.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was.
and he was expecting you to spend it on a meal. Like, that's insane.
So then, how did this end up
Yeah.
resolving? What happened?
About, the waiter left, and I was just like, well, what are you going to do? And he just didn't really give me an answer. And so,
Starts running toward the door.
yeah, what felt like, 20 minutes, but was probably like 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just called an Uber.
You called an Uber.
I called an
so you
Uber.
have no idea how he got out of that.
No.
Oh my gosh, you left him at the table?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't blame her.
what?
Did he text you afterwards?
No, I never heard from
Never
him.
heard
You
from
never heard from him again?
Never
Yeah.
ran into him
Oh
anywhere.
my gosh. Did you ever look him up on social media? We don't need to hear names, but like, did you look him up afterwards?
I
to see what
did.
he's doing?
Yeah, but I mean, we weren't like friends on any
Yeah.
of it, so it was very limited what I could see. But
He didn't even apologize.
no.
Oh my
Nothing.
So here
Lord.
was my question: do you think that he had the intention the entire time to try to get you to pay for this meal? Like he knew I'm going to get declined, but who cares? Because I'm going to have her pick it up anyway.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I have no idea. I mean, to me, that just seems wild.
It does
like,
seem wild.
I mean, seriously.
What guy would do that? I mean, I think
I don't know. I mean-
wouldn't take that kind of hit to like,
No, I would never do something like that.
like my
That'd be-
pride. I would
yeah.
be like, oh.
So, God, that is so weird. Oh.
I'd phone a friend before having to like ask the other person. I'd be like, actually, I'll be right back from the table, and I'd go to the front and I'd call a friend and be like, listen, give me your credit card right now. I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, that would
He
be-
could. I mean, he could have phoned a friend. He could have done
He
something.
probably
about
did. That's probably what happened when she left.
Oh my
you were already back.
gosh.
You were already back home in your jammies. Watching whatever,
Whatever.
Jimmy
So what
Fallon
did-
or something.
What advice would you give to anyone in that situation moving forward?
I don't really know how you can prevent it, because like I feel like any preventative measures that I could have taken had it risks I don't know what's the word I'm trying to like offending.
Yeah.
Like what am I going to do? Say, well, can you afford to take me here? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
say that.
So let me ask you this.
Prior
Okay, so
to-
first of all, you had already said the conversation and everything had already been kind of a flatliner, and it was already down to a 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
So let's say that you totally liked this guy, you were having a blast, you felt a connection, you're thinking, I love this guy. I mean, he's awesome. Not love, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like,
into
well
it.
done. We're not.
This guy is going on. We're vibing here. Would you have still called the Uber, or would you have tried to figure out like, let's work on this together,
Yeah.
my future honey?
I probably would.
Yeah.
Help him. I'd probably be like, because there are, right around there's around like 3 banks just sitting there. I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably would have. I think what really set me off was him it was the quickness that he asked me.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like without a beat almost, like, or without skipping a beat. It was just kind of like, can you help with
Right,
this?
right.
And I just didn't. I mean, I'm just clearly younger
Yeah.
than him. I don't know.
It's kind of like, get your shit together, guy. Like, you act like you have all of your shit
Well,
together.
and I'm
then-
embarrassed because I can't afford it.
No,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Because like
Well,
I'm
but you
sitting
shouldn't
there.
be. I mean, he
I
asked
know.
you out. It wasn't your
Well, and
obligation.
first of
in
all,
hindsight-
creatives know that, like, if you're a creative, sometimes it's going to get tight. You know what I mean? On the
Yeah.
wallet. And if they want to date the creative, the fun creative, they need to realize that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The model, the creative. And he's pulling up in his, like, nice Mercedes, has this suit on. He's acting like he's this big shot. Like, he needs to follow through if he's going to take you to that nice of a place. Mm-hmm. And then I did see one of your stand-up. You said there was this one where you said something like, I want to go somewhere where they make the food in front of
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Can you tell us about that really quick? Because it's funny.
Okay, do you want to hear the joke?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
want to
wanna
hear the
hear it really
joke.
quick.
Tell us
Okay.
jokes, GretchYo.
Well, that one's funny. I just
Yes.
loved it.
Well, that's actually one of my first jokes, and it still kills it every time. So I'm happy about that. But So I talk about how dating apps, like, the issue is that one of the issues I have with it is that I feel very disposable. Like, another option is just another swipe away.
Yeah.
And that's true. That's the name of the game. It just really pisses me off when someone doesn't bring their A game to a first date.
Yeah.
Like, this guy goes, hey, where do you want to go out to eat? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Let's go someplace where they make the food in front of me. And then he took me to Subway. I know. And then later that night, when I actually wanted a foot long, he couldn't give me 6 inches. So.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Good night, everybody. My name is GretchYo. I'll be here all week.
GretchYo.
That was really good. That's
you.
actually really funny. I like that.
That is hilarious.
That is good.
Of course, you're expecting him to take you somewhere nice.
Now, you did tell Haley and I about another story about a guy that you did meet
on a dating app.
Tinder, Bumble. I don't remember. The guy.
Is it?
His pictures were not exactly.
Oh, that was Bumble.
Yeah.
That was Bumble. Okay.
A little off-putting there. So tell us a little bit about that experience. So now we've heard about the guy who takes you to the nice restaurant and can't even pay.
Yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about someone that's kind of
catfishing.
Catfishing you. Yeah. I'm like, how do I word this?
Word?
What's the word? Oh yeah, catfish. There's a whole show based
Unpolished.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about it.
So I've been talking to this guy, and I meet him at Cane Rosa, right around the Lakewood area.
Wait,
right?
you skipped up a bunch of stuff. You've been talking to this guy. You met him on Bumble, though?
Oh yeah, I met him on Bumble.
Okay, so you met him on Bumble.
But, yeah, but we need to know.
Yeah.
Okay, what made you
what made you swipe right?
He just so I'm into nerds. Like I'm an equal opportunity dater. All right.
Okay.
So I've got if you look at my history, it's like, wow, she's all over the place. But I do have
funny.
a soft spot for nerds.
Yeah.
So this guy just looked like
I would
Clark Kent.
I'd love if I sat down with my date for the first time. She goes, I got to tell you, Doug, I'm an equal opportunity dater. Thank you. I was wondering, you're so out of my league.
So this guy's like a nerd.
Yeah.
You said Clark Kent.
Yes.
Okay.
I like
And
that too.
he just, I don't know, he's just really handsome. He's got a really defined jaw. He's, got glasses.
This is in the photos.
He's in the photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many photos did he have though? Did he fill out the entire Bumble?
No, I want to
Give
say
you
he had
6.
3.
They only give you 6 on there.
It wasn't the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if people give you 3 when they have 6,
Yeah.
that means something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
We're going to do a feature episode about that.
Oh
too.
yeah.
There's all kinds of...
we live in an age where
Yeah.
if you don't have 6 pictures of yourself on your phone,
What you hiding?
Yeah, what are you
Yeah.
hiding? Okay.
Yeah.
And did he have a bio?
Yeah, he did. And he was a little bit older. So, I mean, not super older, but he was probably...
Is this more recent? Was this last year? When was this?
No, this must have been 2 years ago.
Okay.
Maybe even 3. Okay. But he was probably 37.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Let's see. And he just, I don't know, he just seemed like a nerd. I don't know how, but he is a handsome one. So
Yeah.
had a good job, according to Bumble, all of that.
Remember that, folks. Okay, we're
And
going
that's
to
important.
revisit that
we
part
are.
of the story.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So we meet.
but you had actually spoken on the phone first? Is that what you said?
Actually, yeah. So we obviously messaged, and then we talked on the phone, and it just seemed pretty natural, and didn't get any hint of anything weird, and yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll meet you.
Were you nervous before the phone call? Because I feel like people now, they're so used to just texting or messaging that they won't even do an old-fashioned phone call.
I wasn't expecting the call. He kind of
Okay.
called me out of the blue. I gave him my number, and then the following day he called me to set up a date, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
I thought that was really big of him.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so he didn't even say that he was going to call. You just gave him your number.
He
so that
asked
you
for
could-
my number. I
Right.
gave it to him.
Right.
And then he said, we'll talk soon.
What was your first line when you talked to him? Were you just hey, or did you get creative?
I was just like, hey, what's up? That's my line.
Wow, that's
Hey,
really
what's up?
creative.
Very creative there.
So that's kind of what I would do if I was hitting
Yeah,
on you at a
Gretchen,
bar.
I'm funny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who are
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Well, my bio isn't really that good either. It's I just said 5'10", so no shorties.
Wow.
Really?
To the point.
I kind of like that though, because it's if you want to get to know me, get to know me. I don't need to tell you everything in my bio. Plus, no one reads it anyways.
Yeah.
They're just
Not true.
Oh, Doug's not true. I read all.
No,
of them.
I don't read all of them.
He's taking notes.
That's the next. That's the hurdle you have to get through. If you get through the first hurdle, then I actually do read it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The first hurdle though is after I swipe left 8,000 times. Oh my God, here's one. Let me find out about her. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about you. So go ahead. So you guys were talking on the phone, and then he asked you out.
Yes. And so we met I want to say 2 days later at Cana Rosa, this pizza place in Dallas, in a different neighborhood than I was in Uptown. He was in Lakewood, kind of by the Arboretum. So it's like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
But
and for those that don't know Dallas, again, Lakewood's like kind of a older, established neighborhood from. Whatever.
I love Lakewood.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's a big lake over there. Anyway, it's not a bad place at all. It's
no,
great.
it's beautiful.
It's
a great area.
Yeah.
I'm not talking down on it.
No.
Oh, no. I'm
it's just that Uptown is kind of like Uptown's like the hip, cool place to go out or whatever.
I feel like, Uptown's like the younger vibe. Mm-hmm. Lakewood's a more chill.
Yeah.
Like family settling down vibe.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it's still totally cool to take somebody there. So
Absolutely.
So go ahead.
Okay.
So I show up and immediately realize he looks nothing like his pictures. And so...
In what way?
He's fat. He does not have a defined jaw.
His Clark Kent.
So were they his
jaw?
pictures that were just old?
Oh, they were his. I mean, I guess they were just old, but I don't know if they were old or just angled right.
Were they from above or like...
One of them was from above. One of them was from the side. I realized later on, no body pictures, you know.
One of them, was he holding a big fish?
One of them, he was holding his kid.
Oh,
and so
his kid.
he had a kid.
Okay.
And so... I think that kind of hit a little bit, and then the other one was kind of like
the
this.
kid hit his gut.
I guess.
His kid, he just got the kid the
He's
belly.
like, I really liked his child. So wait,
funny.
a guy having a kid, does that? I just want to know. Does that is that okay?
Deal breaker?
No, it's not a deal breaker. I mean, the way I see it is like, if I don't have to deal with any baby mama drama, and you're a good dad, and like. And we get along, like I don't really care. I mean, I'm not going to be a stepmom anytime too fast, but like, I like kids and I want kids eventually. So.
Okay, so you're at the pizza place.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking at this point? You're thinking, okay, I just want this to be over with? Or you're thinking, well, I'm going to give Clark Kent a chance here.
Well, I knew it was done. But I'm a firm believer in treating people how I want to be treated. And so what I didn't want to do, because it's not like, I wouldn't do this anyway.
Right.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, if you're from Dallas,
Nice.
you would never have said that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, anyway, like I wouldn't have, even if he didn't see me, I wouldn't have left. Like I would have actually met him and, whatever. But so in my mind, I'm thinking immediately, I'm like, I'm just going to have one glass of wine and leave and pay for it. Like I'm not going to let him pay for it.
So you had your exit strategy.
I already knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
I do. I definitely start mapping out the exit strategy when I know it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we have, so he's already got a bottle of wine, the bottle of wine's brought over. Obviously he's told the waiter to bring it over when I arrive. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, okay, great. I'll have 2 glasses of wine. And
I'll have half a bottle of wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, let's see what else. So we start talking, and he's actually very nice.
Yeah.
He starts telling me about how he's going to start taking classes at Dallas Comedy House, which I have been taking classes there for years. So obviously, we got along there with that.
Yeah.
And, I didn't feel, my plan was to pay for my part and leave after that. But then all of a sudden, he orders like a pizza and it's like
and you didn't want to hurt his feelings.
Yeah.
I can't either.
See now,
I can't do that.
Well, and it's just like, I wouldn't want that, like I'm trying to treat him how I would want to be treated. And
I'm with you on that, Gretchen.
So
We're good there.
Lots of
that was very nice.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
But it's like, at the same time, we started this thing off on a lie.
Yeah.
So,
that's true.
I can't really, I just, whatever. I can't spend now, as I've gotten wiser, the same situation, I really would have had that 1 glass of wine and left.
Yeah.
But back then I was a little bit more naive and probably too nice. But
she's becoming a Dallas bitch.
Hey, it'll do it to you.
Just standards. You gotta have standards at some point.
Standards for my time too.
Yeah.
Because I would have never gone out with him.
Yeah.
Right.
Time is your most precious commodity.
Yeah, you can't get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he orders the pizza, and then we finally finish it, and he asks if I want another drink. I say no. And so I get up, I hear him, or I ask for my check. Yeah. And I just get up, go to the bathroom real quick, because they're slammed at this place.
He didn't insist on paying for you?
Well, I thought that it was going to take them a while, because our service wasn't so quick. They were just slammed. Mm-hmm. And so I asked for the check and immediately was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. And so I went to the bathroom, came back, he had already paid for all of it.
Oh,
And so,
sweet.
yeah, that was nice.
I think that's should happen. So
I mean, I'm not going
the way it should
to
be.
chastise him for it.
doesn't
But
matter how bad the date is. The guy.
This
should pay
podcast
for
is
it.
based in the South, not New York. Upper East. They're like, no, everyone pays their part. And
Hell no.
here we're like old school.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feminist, but I still like the old Southern charm of like
Chivalry.
chivalry.
I mean, I think that there's a part. I mean, I have learned that I will give my entire self to someone, my friends, my family, like whoever I'm with, and I very rare, like, it's a very special relationship when they reciprocate.
Yeah.
And so I've learned, I wanted him, he's the one with a good job. He's the one who's older. Like, I knew that I wanted, that's what I want. Like, I want someone who's going to pay for me because it will end up being even,
Oh,
but
100%.
I've done that where I like make it even from the get-go and I'm totally taken advantage of.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just,
I'm totally old school. I think the guy should pay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how did it go? How did it actually end? Like,
so
did you
he
just call
paid.
an Uber and blow out of there?
No, I had driven there. And so I was like, okay, so that's one. The next obstacle is I don't want him to kiss me on the way to the car.
The awkward
Oh,
dismount.
no.
Oh,
Yeah.
we could do an entire show on the awkward dismount.
Yes.
On the first date.
Probably could.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And so we walk to my car. I don't want him to go all the way to my car with me. And so I just kind of stop him.
Wait, so he follows you to your car?
Oh, yeah, he's walking with me. And
Were you like starting
Oh
to
my
walk
God.
kind of fast? You're like, ah!
yeah, and I realize I can't shake him. So,
She's like juking, like NFL style.
and he's like right with me.
The Heisman's coming out. Okay, go ahead. I love this.
So
I can't shake him.
I can't. And so I literally just kind of just stop and I was like, okay, well, I had a great time. I'll see you at
Yeah.
Dallas Comedy House. Have a good night.
That was a good way
Exactly.
To kind of, I
See
like
you at
that.
the Dallas.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. And so he goes in for a kiss.
Ooh.
I know. And I avoid it by giving him a really big neck hug. So I like gave him a hug and just kind of
Awkward.
yeah.
Oh, so awkward. Okay.
And so I pull away and he kind of holds me there.
Oh.
And he goes, would you like to go out on another date again? Looks me in my
my
face,
God.
And so here I am with this conflict, right? Okay, what would I want in this situation, right? So I just
Jeopardy
said,
music's playing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just said, no, I don't want to go on a date with you again. And he said,
Poor guy.
I mean, what did I say? Lie
He
to
just
him?
has his face.
Living alone.
That's what it was. His face was like, why? And I was like, oh God. But again, like I've already told him the truth so far, and I just put my foot in my mouth. I could have said it better, but I was panicking, and I just said, because you're just not really in shape. Which was the truth. But
Oh, no.
that ensued,
And
and
like a little tear.
oh no, he was angry. His face gets all
set him
scrunched.
off.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were in the parking lot.
His like
He-
glasses fell off. Like Clark inside. He was like, ah.
And now he's turning David Banner into the Hulk.
Seriously.
Okay.
And he's like, what? He just kept on doing that, like with his
Did he
face.
check his gutter?
And he just kind of backs away, and he was
He
just.
starts bowing up.
Well, he like goes no, like at first like that.
He said
And-
no?
Yeah, and he
I
was
did like
just
10,
like.
10 reps of it.
So why did he say no?
I don't know. I think it was just a response, but he was just like, you're rude, and this is why you're single, and like anyway.
Oh, the attack?
Yes,
Yeah.
now he goes
Just
on
because you
the
didn't-
attack.
So now he's like, and then he started weaponizing his generosities, and he was like, I just bought you dinner, blah blah blah.
Oh, I can't stand
These
I like
people-
that phrase, weaponing your generosity.
I know, I'm stealing
that's
that.
good.
I'm gonna
That is
tuck that
very,
in my
yeah,
pocket.
we
It
need to
happens
put that
all the
Go ahead
time.
and start a
Magazine.
running list of like the dating lexicon, and that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
People
Okay.
do that a lot.
Yeah.
People
Oh, yeah,
people
they
like to
do.
weaponize their generosity.
Yeah.
See, I never
All
do
people,
that. I
friends.
seriously.
I mean, yeah, just generally speaking,
Yeah.
humans
Yeah.
will do
Humans,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so then how did you get out of this?
I ended up just saying, I think I just said
Roadrunner
something
cloud
like,
to the car.
yeah, well, because all these people in the parking lot thought we were like in a breakup, like
Oh,
because
wow.
he's
So
yelling.
So this like attracted like attention.
Well, he's backing
Somebody
away,
pulls
yelling
up their
at
phone
me.
and starts recording
You know?
it. Okay.
And so I just was like,
Oh, he's in his car at this point.
No. We're still in the parking lot. We're in the middle of the parking lot, and I'm going to my car, and he's going to his, and I just kind of turn around and go, "Have a good night," and got in my car.
Wow.
Nuh-uh.
And went home.
So, okay, did you ever hear from the guy again?
Yeah, I did. He sent me a couple nasty texts that night, and
What
then
did he say?
said something like, "I can't believe how rude you are," or something like
Were there any
that.
F-bombs and just...
No F-bombs, but just talking about how rude and inconsiderate I am. But the way I didn't feel bad about it. The way I see it is like, don't ask a question if you can't accept the answer.
Right.
Oh,
You know?
Hey,
Well, how did you
you'd be
respond?
a good attorney.
I didn't respond.
Oh, you never responded?
I never responded.
Yeah, just block him.
So you,
Yeah.
so you never were like, well, you kind of falsely, you know.
As soon as I
Yeah.
get the first psycho
Yeah.
text, I block.
I mean, in his...
Really?
Uh-huh.
So in his defense, or not in his defense,
I don't need this. I don't know.
In his defense, what?
well, not in his defense, that was a wrong thing to say, but if what would have been fair, not necessarily nice, was me just turning around and never having that glass of wine, you know, because I feel like he just completely falsely represented himself. I still would have done it. I still would have had the glass of wine.
Right.
But it was just it was a lesson for me to realize, like, you know, people aren't going to match your caliber,
No.
Right.
you know.
Well, like we said, I mean, it's always these awkward, crazy, weird situations, and that's what I love about this whole subject. Is that, I mean, there's reasons why this is the case, and we're going to wrap everything up. But that's what's so fun. I know that we got to live off your misery today.
I know. Thanks for letting us live off your
No,
misery.
absolutely.
But now, like, you've learned lessons moving forward from all of these experiences.
Oh yeah, every single. I mean, just like any failure, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, even I've definitely, I don't know, even just this past year, you know, I've dated and it hasn't really worked out, and like it's just like you learn from it. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, sit and wallow in it?
No.
If someone doesn't want you, then or if you don't think that they're necessarily good enough, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
So what would you say to if you said the one thing that I've learned over whatever the
From
last,
your dating experiences.
all your dating experiences, like up to this point, you know, that's the one good thing as you gain that some of these bad things that have happened. What would you say? Like the one mistake, I'm never going to make this again.
Yeah.
It's something that I think that might happen again, but I think it just comes down to knowing your worth. And knowing your time worth,
Yes.
you know, like it's something that, like, seriously, because it's things like, even I was kind of talking to this guy out of Miami that I really fell for, and ultimately I don't think he saw my worth.
Yeah.
But you know, and I saw his, but you know, looking back on it, I would have never worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was probably too nice, you know, and wasted my time. And I feel like after that was a real wake up call. Like, honestly, the last 6 months, and I have been working on this and I will forever work on this, but just really understanding who deserves your time and why.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
I get that, and that's all good. But we can't end on a down note like that.
No,
Gretchen.
sorry.
You're GretchYo. You're GretchYo. You're the comedian.
GretchYo, yeah.
So tell us something funny or fun, because the show really is about having fun.
And tell us your social media handles. We want people to follow you.
We want people to go to your shows and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm all GretchYo everything, and it's like GRETCHYO. So my name's Gretchen Young. It's like J-Lo.
Okay,
GretchYo.
Yeah,
GretchYo, what's
it.
up?
What's up?
So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'm on all that stuff.
And are you GretchYo on all that stuff?
All of it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Pretty much just go by that.
Cool.
Very good.
And then what was the other question?
Do you have a cool, I mean, if you want to say any like cool dating, like
something funny,
improv,
or something.
comedy.
Maybe it's a joke from your show that would relate to the show. Or I don't want to put you on the spot.
Oh no! I mean,
we just want to end on a high note and be funny, and then we'll try to get people to come to our social media.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I mean, how bad can I get?
You can be as bad as you want.
You can get bad.
That's
So
the great thing about
this is explicit.
Yeah.
My Nana can't listen to it. I already
She
told
wouldn't
her.
have listened this far anyway.
I already told her.
One of my closers right now, actually, so I've been talking about how I've got a lot of friends in successful relationships, so I'll ask them for advice. And whenever you're getting down about guys, women out there, just remember this. Men are like linoleum. You lay them right the first time and you can walk on them for the rest of their lives.
like it.
I like it.
GretchYo, everybody. Our awesome
Thank
guest
you.
today. So, folks, that's going to wrap up our very first episode of Crazy Ass Dates. We appreciate you listening or watching or whatever. Please tell all your friends about it. We're always looking for guests, aren't we, Haley?
Yes, go to crazyassdates.com. Submit your story today.
Yes, and we're on social media everywhere, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, Crazy Ass Dates. That's our handle. So please visit us, like us, follow us, and we're going to keep having fun and keep telling more wild, crazy, and unbelievably tense and uncomfortable,
Maybe disturbing.
maybe disturbing stories. Who
Dates,
knows?
yeah.
Anyway, until next time, we'll see you guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.